Hello, my name is Tony Litt. I'm the MD of Sunrise Radio, and it's my immense pleasure to bring you the official Sunrise Radio podcast. We are the #1 commercial Asian station in the United Kingdom, with many firsts to our name, and we continue to be the voice of British Asians who have given us their love and loyalty over 30 years. It's a legacy we cherish and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. Our aim has always been to entertain the listeners with the best of Bollywood and Bhangra, while also addressing their concerns. A real voice for the community, a vibrant community, and a great nation. We are proud to be British and Asian. This podcast is a compilation of some of the things we do on the station, with a stellar lineup of presenters who each have their own personality and style. It's entertaining, informative, engaging, and we hope you will enjoy it here as a podcast if you are unable to tune in to the radio. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your family and friends about this podcast. And do leave us a comment on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All the best always. Team Sunrise.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
Hey, my name is Shabnam Sahi. Welcome to the official Sunrise Radio podcast. I'm on your radio weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. If you've heard the show, you know what to expect from it. But here are some exciting, interesting Bollywood stories that you may have missed. This time round, served up as part of our official Sunrise Radio podcast. Enjoy. It gives me great pleasure to say a big warm welcome to Vedang Raina, who had a film out about a week ago. Of course, it is a biggie. It's the film that everyone's talking about. I mean, Jigra, of course. Vedang, welcome to Sunrise.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
When you prep for an action thriller like this, it is a jailbreak. We know the story. I've seen the film as well. And when it's finally out, your baby is finally out, everybody is watching it. How do you feel at this point?
It's a weird feeling because you're working on a project for so long and you feel like it's a very personal thing, but then it's out there for the world to see suddenly. So that the day of release and a few days after that is a bit weird, but it's a great feeling for people to be watching something that you worked really hard on.
We saw you in the Archies and we know exactly what you're capable of. And this is virtually the other side of the spectrum. What kind of prep does a film like this need? Did you end up watching a lot of other films in the same genre? Were you given specific pointers? What kind of prep went into this?
So, I mean, watching films is something that I do all the time anyway. But I think during the prep for this film, Vasan and I would discuss what kind of films would be kind of references for this, maybe for the character. So maybe I'd watch something which had to do with jailbreak. Me personally, for this film, my prep involved a lot of watching documentaries. So I would watch, because it's a really interesting situation to be in, right? You're in jail suddenly for a crime you didn't commit, and you're on death row. So you're waiting your death. And I wanted to know what, people who've been on death row before, what their experiences are like. What are they like? Or do they completely just give up on life? Or, how do they behave? So I watched a lot of that, a lot of actual documentaries from the prison that the prison in our film was kind of based off of. So those kind of things. And in general, just spending a lot of time with Vasan sir, trying to discuss what the character is kind of like. I write things for the character, so stuff like that. But yeah, it was quite smooth. I mean, it was very different from Archies. Archies was it's a very different approach I took for that role. I personally feel like this one was more challenging. It was a lot of fun though. The whole process was a lot of fun, and even shooting was a lot of fun because Vasan says he makes it really fun to shoot, even though this film is quite stressful to shoot.
Intense, yeah. I was just going to say.
Yeah, it is.
And I was thinking that you were just starting out, right? This is the start of your career, and yet to take on a challenging role like this one, which I felt demanded not just a certain physicality, but exactly as you're saying, someone facing death, that emotional angle that you have to bring to the story, not being able to do much because you're, within the confines of a prison, and yet to convey what is going through in your heart and your mind. I thought you did a brilliant job, by the way. Now, Vedang, tell me, when people start out, everybody normally has a wish list. अब ये बात और है कि बॉलीवुड में आपका करियर किस तरफ जाता है, that's not in your hands. That depends on circumstances, your luck, etc., etc. But everybody has a wish list in terms of, these are the roles that I definitely want to do, the boxes I want to take, co-stars that I want to work with.
Sure, yeah. I think I always talk about how my dream role would be something like a rock star. The one which Imtiaz sir directed and Ranbir is in the film. And because my journey into any sort of performing arts started with music
Yes.
and singing, which actually I got an opportunity to do in this film, which was never the plan. It was always a dream of mine to do something like a rock star or play a musician character who is a musician in the film.
Yeah.
I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, I mean, there's so many great actors that I've always admired and a lot of great directors that I admired that I would love to work with one day. The list is endless. I mean, I could name a few people.
Go ahead and name a few people.
So Sanjay Leela Bhansali.
Yes.
I really admire what he does. Vikramaditya Motwani. I really like the stuff that he's made. And actors, Ranveer, I've always been a fan.
Yes.
Ranveer, I've been a fan.
Yeah.
So many.
You know, the great thing about Indian cinema, Indian entertainment right now is the fact that stories like these, like Jigra, are being taken up by the mainstream, are being, watched by mainstream audiences. And right now there's so much happening. There are so many avenues, so many platforms, so many formats that people are experimenting with. And you guys are at the forefront of this sudden explosion in the way entertainment has opened up in India. Would you say that one genre is easier than the other? You've done action, you've done a rom-com in the Archies.
So I guess there's truth to that, but I don't think I saw it that way. Maybe it's my inexperience, and maybe it's the fact that I'm only 2 films old and I haven't seen this side of the world a lot. But I took it as just 2 characters that I'm playing, and I feel like I did. I put in equal amounts of effort for both.
Yes.
I would call this role more challenging, not because of the genre that it is, but because of the mental state of this character. So what I put myself through to kind of in an attempt to achieve that was a lot more taxing mentally, physically, emotionally than what Reggie was.
Fantastic. Vedang, my last question to you, and it is a song request. You've done a rendition of perhaps the first song that comes to mind when you think of siblings, Phoolon Ka Tarunga, right? Please give us a few lines from that song, if you will, because you sing, you dance, you act, you're a multi-talented guy. We want to hear you sing.
Oh, okay. I'll do a few lines.
Please.
फूलों का तारों का सबका कहना है, 1000 में मेरी बहना है, सारी उम्र हमें संग रहना है, फूलों का तारों का सबका कहना है.
Thank you so much. I hope to see you in many other roles, many other films in the future, Vedang Raina. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You can catch Shabnam Sahi, the ultimate storyteller, weekdays 9 a.m. till 12 noon.
This is Anushka Arora. As always, lovely to have your company for the Sunrise Radio podcast. And this week, I have another special guest on the show. Guys, welcome to Sunrise Radio, Team Citadel Honey Bunny. How are you guys feeling after the screening of the first episode yesterday? I'm going to put it out to all of you guys.
The screening went great. I mean, it was more than what we expected. We were told press, don't clap.
So, we did clap.
Yeah, it was a spontaneous applause. And so that kicked off a really good mood. And it was great watching it on the big screen and, the whole thing fall in place. Yeah. It's been years. And we were here a couple of years ago for the American version. And so, it felt great to come back here and start our journey now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Samantha, what about you? How are you feeling?
I missed it, but I heard enough.
Yeah.
So, looking forward, it's been quite a journey, and it's been extremely fulfilling. So, looking forward to the release now.
I think after watching the first episode, I think I'm going to say that it's safe to say that you're going to give the action heroes a run for their money for this one.
You're too kind. Thank you.
No, honestly,
Thank
and I'm
you.
not just saying that because I think it's like. And I was saying this yesterday, actually. I think with web shows, they reach so many people and then there's so many opinions. But I think if you're really sold in the first episode, then you just know, like, after I finished watching the first episode yesterday, I was like, I want to watch the next one now.
Oh, wow.
So
That's great.
I think the question here is for you, Samantha. Do you feel you're carving this little niche of, you know, being doing more action stuff maybe in the future? Is this something that you would like to do?
Looks like I'm being pushed in that direction. But it is exciting. It's thrilling, and it's nice. I didn't think that I could do it, but now I can't stop.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, I think.
It's good.
Yeah.
No, it was, we really enjoyed the
Thank
episode
you.
yesterday. Now, just want to ask about the name Honey Bunny. Like, where did that come from? How did that appear? And how did you?
A lot of thought went into this name. I mean, I think for the longest time we didn't have a name. We were just calling it Citadel India. So we didn't have a name, and of course, Honey was always called Honey, and because part of her job when she gets inducted into the spy job is actually to be a honey trap, right? So nobody really, as a character, nobody takes a woman seriously when it comes to fighting, but she proves everybody otherwise. So her first gig is to be a honey trap. So the name kind of was a play on that, like
Makes
it's
sense.
just a honey. And then when it came to Bunny, we've always had this little fascination of giving a silly, strange sounding name to an otherwise serious character. I mean, he's an action hero, and what's his name? Bunny.
All of a sudden, it's this really cute name.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's also
So I
from the
think it's
kids'
fun.
point of view, because Nadia is also there, and then we thought it'd be nice, if the name goes with the child who's also a central character.
Yeah.
And so the name is not kiddish, but childlike.
Like childlike,
in
yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
Honey Bunny.
Yeah.
So it fits everybody.
Yeah.
And suddenly we knew we had a great name that goes in contrast to what the show is in a way, right? So, yep, we fought and stuck and kept it. And
Yeah, it makes sense.
All other things aside, I think it gives you a sense of what to expect from the show.
Yeah,
it kind
for
of
sure.
says, it could be action, it could be drama, but there is an element of fun and quirk.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what really makes it, because it's not just action. I think there's so much to it, but it's done really well. So yeah, no, I think that's really nice.
Thank you.
On to you. I mean, prep. I know you were mentioning yesterday that there was a lot of back and forth with, scripting and screenplay and all of that. I mean, how has that process been? I mean, was it stressful? Is there a lot of pressure because of the Citadel universe now that there is?
See, we've been acutely aware that this series is part of a large global franchise. So that's always been there at the back of our minds. But crafting it has been extremely engaging and fulfilling, purely because and I personally got to interact with people like Angela and David and Gina and people from all across the world and see how they approach stories and characters. And there was this great cross-pollination of ideas floating back and forth all the time, which then made it so much more, fulfilling to be a part of. We had these bi-monthly writers' room. We had these catch-ups where we would all join in and then toss ideas back and forth, and it's been exciting to be a part of all of that, honestly.
I mean, from the sounds of it, there's a lot of detail that you really have to look into. I mean, and like you said, with the writers' room and stuff, I think it's just exceptional the way you guys work. It is so good, and not just Citadel. I think also your previous work as well. You guys have done some amazing things. And I just, when you watch it, you see it from an audience perspective, but I think the background and the work that goes into it is just phenomenal. Like,
speaking of collaboration, may I just share that it's been 15 years with DK and Raj.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yes, so
Congratulations.
it's been a collaboration truly.
Yeah.
Beyond just interacting with the global partners, it's also been a collaboration right here.
How lovely is that? Tell me about the relationship over the years. I mean, 15
She would
years
like to
is a
kill
long
them
time.
occasionally.
Yeah. Would you? To put it politely, I was asking.
Very politely.
Politely, she would like to kill them.
How are you feeling about it today? Do you feel something different tomorrow?
Today I feel kind, tomorrow I do not know.
But with your voice is so soft, I feel like you just like, you're just such a softly
Can
spoken
you imagine?
So she just writes.
Can you imagine me writing action?
No, I can't. That's the thing.
She writes.
She's
She
like,
loves to
honey,
write.
takes a gun and goes to shoot.
Once she finishes a scene, we have to clean it up because there's too many cuss words.
Like, when you started speaking yesterday, I was like, no, that voice does not match what I'm watching here. It does not match it. But
Also, that's so cool.
yeah, but like that's amazing. 15 years is lovely. That is, quite something. That's beautiful. Samantha, tell me about the prep for you being, all the action stuff.
I would have liked some more prep, but I wasn't given enough.
Yes, you weren't.
There is no prep that's enough prep. We are all aware of it.
I mean, I just feel like I need to watch more so I can ask more. But I just find
She's that student that prepares quietly, and then comes and says nobody is.
explodes.
And says, I don't know anything. I've not studied it. And then she'll go and get the first rank.
She's one of those students. Smart, very smart. Okay, I know we're running out of time, but tell me one thing that you would like the audience to take away from this show whilst they're watching it. I'm going to put it out to all of you guys.
I'm sure there's more than one thing.
Yeah, there's lots.
To start.
Heart, love, hope, action.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Meaning.
I think we've put in a good effort in designing the action sequences, keeping in mind all the action that's out there, unlimited action that's out there. So I feel that yesterday watching it on the big screen, I realized that I think there is a certain freshness. Hopefully,
Yes.
I mean, we're bragging about our own work, but that's what I think might be the extra ingredient and the main ingredient required for a show like this. And beyond that, wonderful actors. I mean, we didn't have to do much for Samantha or Varun or the kid or Sita Menon, all the actors just aced it. We just had to get them in the right clothes and right hairstyles.
I mean, you guys have done a fabulous job. I don't even need to watch it to say it, but congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Listen to our Bollywood queen, Anushka Arora, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. weekdays on Sunrise.